This is why the keto and carnivore diets are like really trash for building muscle and bodybuilding in general, because these diets are high in they're high in protein and they're high in fats. In these diets, you completely cut out carb sources like rice, oats, bread, etc. Okay, and you only focus on meat like chicken, you got steak, red meat, and other things like turkey, whatever, if you're into that. And I did this diet for 2 years straight, expecting I would lose a lot of fat and a lot of weight. Yes, I did, but I also thought I would build a nice amount of muscle while on it. I didn't, and I want to talk about that over here. For 2 years straight, I can count on both of my hands for the amount of times that I've like cheated on this diet. So I know about it. I know how you feel during it. You feel a bit more energized. You feel like you don't have the carb sluggishness anymore. Yes, I've felt all of it. I've experienced it, and I want to talk about it here. It's trash for building muscle though. Why? Because when you're on a high carb diet, you get a lot of glucose, and your body uses this glucose as energy to make ATP, glycolysis, like that stuff. I've learned this in uni, that's why I'm saying it. So when you take in glucose from outside, your body doesn't need to make glucose, no. And it spares the protein to build muscle, build and repair muscle, not energy. So when you take a high protein diet like the keto diet, which is high in protein and fats, you don't have glucose for yourself. You're gonna have to make the glucose, and your body makes it through gluconeogenesis. In this process, your body just takes the protein that you have received from the keto diet and just makes it into glucose for your muscles to use, for your brain to use. Your brain and muscles run on glucose. Sometimes your brain may run on ketones, but that's like a separate topic. Your muscles will use glucose for energy, and this is an inefficient source for your muscles. If you want to grow big, sexy, tapered muscles, you gotta be on high glucose diets like the high carb bodybuilding diet. You know why bodybuilders eat cereal before their workouts? Why do they eat fruits during their workouts? Why do they drink like sugary honey? Why do they take like maple syrup on their pancakes? Because of the carbs. They want the fast carbs before their workout, which helps them actually push to fucking failure and allows them to have better performance in the gym. When you have better performance in the gym, you'll go closer to failure. As we all know, if we go closer to failure, the more muscle we'll build. And if you want to learn way more about diets, how to build an aesthetic, sexy physique, the first link in the description, you can book a call with me and I can teach you personally and improve your physique personally for a free 1 hour session. Or you can just click the second link in the description below where I'll I'll give you the if it's my paid program, and I'll teach you everything that I've known about building a sexy aesthetic physique from the diet to the training. Okay, getting to the video. So high carb diets give you glucose from external sources and allow the body to use the proteins that you're intaking to build muscle and repair muscle, not for energy. So, which is a better, more efficient process, and you're going to build more muscle because of it. So, fuck keto, fuck carnivore, and the influencers who tell you to get on these diets, these primal diets for health reasons. They have built their like really good looking physiques while on the bodybuilding diet. I just made a reel about this today, and I feel so free saying that these diets don't work if you want to build a sexy aesthetic physique. Like no, you'll get the brain effect. You'll you'll be like more open minded. Like you have less lethargy in your mind. Like fuck, you'll be smarter when you're on these like keto carnivore diet. Okay, if that's the main goal in your life, go for it. But no, if building the sexy, lean, aesthetic physique is the main goal in your life because you have been fat and you have been skinny fat for your whole life and you just want to feel how it fucking feels to have a really good physique, go for the high carb bodybuilder diet. Eat the cereal before the workout. It's okay. Take the honey to the workout and eat that. Eat the Mentos while you're in the workout because you need some sort of energy to keep going on. It's okay. You're like 16 to like 25 years old. You're not going to get the adverse effects of like having a shit diet like right now. You aren't gonna feel that different. Like I used to be the fucking guy in the grocery store just uh, tormenting myself if I should get pasture raised eggs or should I get the cage eggs? because the cage eggs are always like more cheaper, and I didn't really have money to do this diet. Like I would like torment myself between these two things. I would beg my parents, oh no, please get the cage eggs. They taste so much better. I don't get a difference in the taste. I don't. I, quality, I don't even fucking notice it. Yes, the pasture raised eggs are a bit more fucking yellow, but who gives a shit? Right now, I just care about the protein in there. So I'm like to my parents, get whatever you want. I just want my protein and just carbs, which comes from mainly rice and oats. That's it. So, bro, I'll tell you what actually builds muscle. Okay, fuck it. I'll tell you what actually builds muscle. So suppose this is your muscle cell, and you got multiple receptors on it. If you don't know what a receptor is, I'll tell you real quick. A receptor is like a antenna. Okay, on the muscle cell, you have an antenna, and this antenna attaches to testosterone. Oh, this one attaches to testosterone. When testosterone, the molecule for testosterone comes in and attaches to the molecule, it signals to the muscle cell to increase muscle protein synthesis. What is muscle protein synthesis? It's your muscles process to build muscle, like to repair itself and make more of itself. Muscle protein synthesis. When testosterone comes in, it actually triggers the muscle to build more muscle through muscle protein synthesis. Okay, when you're on a high fat diet, high keto diet, you'll have slightly higher levels of testosterone, but trust me, bro, the slight increase in like 50, I'll do it here. Slight increase from like a 50 to 100 nanograms per deciliter is not worth it. If you just put that extra amount of calories coming from fat into carbs, you're gonna have better performance in the gym, and when you have better performance in the gym, you'll grow closer to failure. So it's not worth it. The extra 50 to 100 nanograms isn't going to trigger as much MPS as much as you think. The better amount of carbs are going to help you more. So test can actually grow muscle, and amino acids that you get from your food can grow muscle, can trigger the muscle to make more muscle. So amino acids like leucine, isoleucine, valine. You don't need to know this, but amino acids coming from like complete sources of protein like chicken, whey, red meat, etc. So, okay, you get your amino acids, take those from your protein powder, that increases the amount of muscle protein synthesis happening. Fine. And stimulus, which comes from training muscle. That's why I'm telling you to grow closer to failure, which actually tells your muscle, okay, we're getting stimulus, we gotta make some more fucking muscle. Why? Because this cunt is too fucking weak to pick up this weight for this much amount of reps. That actually signals to the body, make more fucking muscle. And you make more muscle because of it. And I'll tell you where the keto diet comes in here. Keto actually increases the amount of testosterone, but the increase in test is not worth it. You could just exchange those calories for more carbs, which are actually going to give you better amounts of stimulus. More like if testosterone increased levels of testosterone gives you a 5% benefit to building towards building muscle, adding more carbs gives you more like 100% more benefit, like a 2x amount of benefit. Like if I just added pictures here, I'll add them for my thumbnail. You'll just see the amount of muscle that you just gain by adding in more carbs, just because you get better performance in the gym and you get better stimulus to increase the amount of muscle protein synthesis. A lot of big words here, but I'm just trying to explain them as best as I can. Try to keep up. Again, why high carb is better than low carb? Because of the because of glycogen. This is typo. It should be glycogen and water retention. What is glycogen? Okay, when you take glucose, this is one ball of glucose, one single unit of glucose, and you attach more glucose to it. You get a chain of glucose, and this chain is called glycogen. And it's your body's more efficient way to store glucose. This can be stored in muscle or liver. I want to talk about the ones in muscle. So when you have more glycogen in your muscle, suppose this is a muscle which is like flat out, no glycogen, bullshit. And if I add glycogen, the muscle gets bigger. Why? Because glycogen specifically attaches to water, and which is called water retention. And when you have higher levels of water retention, you will have more and larger muscles which are better tapered, better looking, and more aesthetic to the eye. So When you add in glycogen through the high carb bodybuilder diet, you get bigger muscles. Easy, right? And those like that's like most of the points that I want you to remember. Okay? Yeah. So why high carb is better than low carb? So with high carbs, proteins are spared towards building muscle and repairing muscle, not energy. And if you do low carbs, the protein that you do intake are used in glyconeogenesis to make the ATP. ATP as in like ATP is a currency for energy. Suppose US dollar is a currency for money. ATP is a currency for energy that your body uses. Okay. Protein are used for energy rather than building muscle and repairing muscle when you're on a low carb diet. So that's why I say it's bullshit. Which is, this process is first of all very energy inefficient. I want you to actually have the proteins and use them for building muscle. Okay, second, why? There's a testosterone increase in high fats, but it's not as much of a benefit as you get from increasing the amount of stimulus which you get from training to failure on a high carb diet, right? And I do tell you to do a high carb diet because the carbs that you eat before the training should be fast carbs. Fast carbs. What is fast carbs? They quickly enter your bloodstream, allowing you to use them faster for energy. What are fast carbs? They could be honey, fruit juice, candy. Sometimes I do candy sometimes because I yesterday was a really big leg day for me, and I'm already on a calorie deficit. My brain doesn't work as well, and my training performance has gone down a tiny bit. Like I'm still struggling to keep up at the same weights. So I will use some Mentos during the workout to give me some sort of mental boost. Mental boost, as in, if you have ever noticed when you like suppose this is your tongue. If I ever put something sweet on your tongue, you just get like a boost in energy. Like you perceive this as a boost in energy whenever there's something sweet on your tongue, you get like a rush immediately. That's basically signaling to your brain that that you have energy. Like this is a very primal mechanism. So you can just try this before heavy sets. Like if you're doing a heavy sets of squats, I want you to put something sweet on your tongue like Mentos, honey, etc., or a fruit itself, and which will signal you to actually have more energy than you actually do. Like it's just a signal. You don't actually have more energy because you haven't really processed it, but just fucking try it. Take a Mentos, put it on your tongue, eat it, whatever, you're gonna have more energy before a heavy set of squats. And you get more amino acids towards building muscle, not for energy. Again, amino acids come from protein. You get more muscle protein synthesis because of it, and you get high levels of glycogen and water retention when you actually do a high carb diet and rather than a low carb diet. This is what happens when you take increased amount of glycogen. You get bigger fucking muscles. This is what Mike Spencer told us, right? 60% of his diet was just carbs, and he had massive muscles. Okay, his high heavy duty program, whatever, in that he tells us to have 60% carbs in our diet. That's why I love high carb diet. It tells me, it gives me better training performance. Okay, it actually gives me better energy for the workouts, and is actually good for water retention and bigger muscles. Yeah, bigger muscles. And I've done the keto diet for 2 years, so I know what I'm talking about here. So if that's mostly it, thank you so much for watching. Please have a high carb diet, and before and after training, try to prioritize the carbs over there in the form of fast carbs like honey, fruit juice, etc. But if you have gained any value from this video, I would like you to actually help you personally. Like the first link in the description below is like where you book a call with me, and I teach you everything that I know about fitness from in the form of like one-on-one coaching. The first call is free, and or the second link in the description below is like my paid program where I teach you everything that I know about building muscle and looking aesthetic, like building the V-taper physique that you have always wanted, and that gets you everything from attraction to respect. Like fucking your life just improves overall because of it. And thank you so much for watching.